get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
That hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Point and Shoot is on Hold No 100 bumper about all this ratatouille talk. You know, Point and Shoot, when it get you in the scope, very little hope at the end of your rope. Let's check it out. He on Hold No 100 ass with his nigga mouth. Oh, mama.
All right, so it's looking like old One-Eyed Jack 100 has responded to the internet's claims that he is a rat. And the reason why people think he's a rat is because he told this story many years ago. He went on the internet and blabbermouthed this story about how he and Big U chased Future, the rapper, through the airport to collect a debt from him. And for those who don't know who Future is, Future's the guy that used to say, "I want to hold you down, put you in that race, you enjoy the town. Even when the roses die, you mesmerized by the flying sky. We gotta socialize and cherish times. This shit is deeper than love. I pull up in that Lamborghini, the doors in the sky." So listen to this clip of Jack 100 talking about chasing this guy through the airport.
I said, "Hey, homie, you got that money for Tricky? Take off run." I'm chasing on the dead home.
Mind you, all this over someone else's $10,000. $10 measly $1,000 in $1 billion industry amongst people that's having it. This how he behaved over $10,000. It's crazy. You see, he trying to implicate Big U as far as being part of the energy, but according to Hold No 100, what did Big U do? Stand there like, who finna chase somebody through the airport for $10,000 that don't even belong to you? What could even be your commission or your cutoff there? It's crazy.
So Jack 100 claims that he was collecting a debt and he was chasing Future through the airport and that Future was scared. And then he threw the phone to Jack 100 with Stunna, which that's Birdman.
I find it ironic, though. He was doing this for Trick Trick. And Trick Trick is a person that felt comfortable doing an announcement in Detroit telling the Crips, if y'all not trying to help solve this crime, this murder, y'all ain't no real Crips. Albeit it was a horrible murder of a young baby losing a life. But irregardless, Trick Trick was telling the Crips, if you ain't helping me solve this murder, you ain't no real Crip. No wonder Hold No 100 would be so willing to go out his way to try to do something to assist that type of individual.
On speaker, he say, "Wack, it's me, Stunna, talk to me."
And he says that him and Birdman worked something out. They worked out a deal to where Birdman covered the debt and Future was allowed to walk away without being chased further.
Leave him be. You got my word, whatever the debt is.
So he tells this story on the internet. Well, that was a few years ago. Now, today, this same story is being used in an indictment against Big Useless, which brings us to this current mystery, which is why is Jack 100 not being charged with anything if he was involved in these acts that Big U is being charged with? This is one of the greatest mysteries. I mean, in this RICO indictment, there are 19 defendants. What? Not one of them are Jack 100. But Jack 100 is describing these things and having firsthand information about these shakedowns. And he specifically inserts himself. He says, we this, we that, our. He uses the
language. He went on to explain how they get in the club. Tell the bouncer ain't paying you enough to try to resist. And then they basically kidnap the whole VIP hostage. Ain't nobody leaving up out of here. He went on to explain all that and swear up and down the feds ain't hollering at him.
Language that you would use if you were personally involved. It's not like he was saying they did this, they did that.
That was like, it was a real table at one time to where we knew what was going on, knew everywhere and every region to where we knew what was going on, right? And we was going to move it if we saw you. And our squads knew if they saw you at a hookah lounge or a club. It been times where it's just like, hey, well, I ain't going to say no names, such and such at the club, lock him down. Them to go over there 20 deep to their VIP. Tell the security they don't pay you enough for this here. Look, continue to have your drinks. Y'all cool. ain't nobody moving out.
Ain't nobody moving out the club. So he's admitting to doing all this. And so it's like, if the, it's not like just Big U's getting charged. 19 people are getting charged around Big U. Why don't the feds have anything on Wack100? That makes no sense. And that's why people think that he's a zesty, cheese-eating rat at this point. So let's hear his response to all of this.
Buddy.
All right.
It's been a tough week, huh?
Who? No, not really.
Feds are cracking down on you. You can't be chasing future Hendricks around the airport, buddy.
Yo, that's crazy. You know what? I read that. One of his I know which one of his homies did it.
You're getting your just desserts.
No, this real shit.
You were there.
I was definitely there.
You did it.
No, but the crazy part about it is
Criminal.
one of his homies told the feds that.
Fine,
so Jack100 is blaming some random person that he says was also there. What? But was he the one chasing Future like you? And was he the one negotiating the terms of Future's safety like you say that you were? That's not even a good excuse, because if that's true, then his testimony online that he spewed online when he blabbermouthed about this whole event, that's going to be played in court for sure. What? I mean, if that's not helping the state's case, then I don't know what would. Let's hear a little bit more of this.
There's no way they can say that.
And what was your involvement in this then?
I'm the one. I talked to Future.
But you're mentioned in the paperwork?
I'm not mentioned.
What did you say to? But then why is everybody putting your name in it?
Because I told this story years ago.
Oh yeah.
I told the story years ago.
Okay.
Right. So they're saying, "Oh, this is what Wack said." So in their head,
he told the story, which is now being included into a superseding indictment as an overt act. He finna lie and try to tell Vladimir the overt act or just speak to your character. However, I just heard an attorney explain very explicitly what an overt actually is. And what an overt actually is one of three elements needed for the feds to actually secure a conviction or prove their case against you. Can't recall the other two elements per se, but when he explained what an overt act is a necessary element. And it means that we already know that there's a concept, a conspiracy to do this. We need to see one action that was done in the furtherance of the Big U enterprise. Any activity, even though we're not charging him with this specific crime, we're charging him with the higher crime. And in order to prove that higher crime, we need at least one overt act that proves that this was going on. And watch how he describes the Big U enterprise, how they was connected nationwide, pressing lines and pulling strings. And this is exactly what Big U is being charged with in a RICO as a leader, extortionist. And here he is providing evidence of an overt act. Whoa. And Byron Blake got a new video that he just did breaking it down about that phone call with Hold No 100 and the feds. The feds even mentioned that in their paperwork. So as fugazi as that call seemed, the feds mentioning it, and Hold No 100 to put his foot in his mouth. And they also are calling, listen to Byron Blake video. He can prove to you that they're listing Hold No 100 as a witness. Oh, my mama.
If you go listen, Wack always said Big U didn't do shit.
Right.
He stayed behind.
Uh-huh.
So,
bro, don't let that go over your head. Big U is being charged with having the power to not do shit, stay behind, and have people move on his behalf. That's like the main thing of the charges he's facing, bro.
For them to have some shit in there, unless a whole nother situation happened,
right, that
I don't know about. But Future was not touched, assaulted, nothing.
Okay.
It was a conversation.
A little jog.
Little trot.
Chase after him a little bit.
It was a little trot.
Okay, so the story is changing here.
What? Little trot.
Chase after him a little bit.
It was a little trot. That money for trick, he take off run. I'm chasing on the dead homie.
All right, so the record.
So when was he lying? Was he putting the extras on it right here on the dead homies? Or is he lying now and he say just to try? We know he lies so much he can't help it. Even to make himself sound cool, he'll tell a lie like this.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county.
Big old liar.
reflect that Jack 100 put on the dead homies that he chased Future through the airport, and then later he said that that wasn't true. What? He didn't chase him, that Future, for some reason, lightly trotted away, even though there was no intimidation factor. That doesn't make any sense, okay? And he also says that nobody touched him. No one even. I said, nephew, don't do it. We gonna do what we supposed to do. What? And no one ever got, and he said no one touched him. Well, you don't have to touch someone to assault them. Simply chasing someone to the extent that it creates a reasonable fear for their personal safety, that is assault. So Jack 100 described himself assaulting someone and didn't get in trouble for it. What? But everyone else did. Let's continue with this clip.
These is all his codees. Everybody that's out on bail, right? Because he was never touched. And it's not a charge, it's an overt act. They ain't charging for no assault on Future. A lot of these motherfuckers is dumb. It's an overt act, but
but they're adding it to the case against Big U, right?
He keeps saying overt act, calling other people dumb as if he have a better understanding of what an overt act is than anyone else, and he doesn't. An overt act is evidence. So they're quoting him as providing evidence in the case of this against Big U, bro. No way around it. Even if it was speaking toward his character, that's evidence toward his character, and his character is currently on trial. This dude is all bad. He talked too much. Oh, my mama.
It's really like goes towards character.
You can just think to his logic. This dude is in everybody's business, in every city, in every state. But then he got the nerve to open up his mouth. He wants y'all to believe that Pacoima and LA is close, right? But then when I suggest to have some knowledge about a guy in Pacoima, look what he says. Look what this goofy slow tar say.
So this what I don't understand. How does a non-Pacoima guy knows what a guy from Pacoima does in Pacoima?
This nigga know what everybody do in every city, state, mountain, cave, valley, crest, crevice across the world, bro. But he had the nerve to say that. This is who y'all trust. Y'all need to show the feds that he will lie. So even though he's saying all this shit about Future Big, you wasn't even there. Look at this liar tale.
So Spider looks at me because we go back to the juvenile side of the county. What?
Not only was I not there to look at him, was that a bow-face lie? He compounded it with the lie about the juvenile side of the county. This dude is a cold liar.
Okay.
It's not a charge. Like, he doesn't have a assault charge on Future.
Oh, okay.
This is why when everybody's saying Future.
So Jack 100 is extremely stupid. He's calling everyone else stupid, but in reality, he's the one that's stupid because he doesn't know what the fuck he's
I think that's where I learned what an overt act was at. Shout out Point and Shoot for bringing the lawyer around. It's coming back. I've seen this already.
talking about. What? An overt act is evidence. An overt act is something that is listed as evidence to support a conspiracy charge. It's straight up evidence. Okay. This isn't nothing. And not only is he very stupid, he can't fucking read either, because he's saying, as soon as I seen he was assaulted, that's when I knew that we wasn't going. He wasn't, it doesn't even say that. So he can't even fucking read. And he's calling everyone else stupid. He's calling everyone bozos.
But when I seen he was assaulted, I said one of his homeboys, all that shit, bro. One of his homeboys and took that, and he's going to take the stand and testify to that. He can't testify he was there, because that's where it's fucked up at. But I don't think it's going to be testifying because it's an overt act.
So Jack 100 thought he was going to confuse everyone into believing that this is no big deal by saying it's an overt act that don't got nothing to do with it. I don't even know that dude. I don't know him. I told him it was an overt act. He did what he was supposed to do. It was an overt act. It was, and so it's like, yeah, an overt act is evidence. You stupid fuck. You stupid man. An overt act is simply evidence that supports a charge. It's not the charge itself. It's the evidence of the charge. But for some reason, a lot of people are having trouble understanding this.
Like, what is an overt act? What is an overt act? How is he being charged?
An overt act is when the government, in this situation with Big U, an overt act is when the government knows that you've done something, but they've yet to charge you. They let you know that they know you did it. That's what an overt act is in layman's terms.
Okay.
So as you can see, Jack100 has successfully muddied the waters around what's going on. People are confused. They're discussing legal terminology that's difficult to understand. People have zero understanding of what an overt act is. So I thought that I'd reach out to my friend, Mr. Keep You Out of Jail, to offer some clarification for you guys.
The sheriff reached out and asked if I could clear a few things up for you guys. And since this sheriff doesn't lock people up, he does God's work exposing lames on the internet, I told him I'd be happy to help. So he wanted me to explain to you guys what an overt act is in the context of a criminal conspiracy. And it works like this. If a prosecutor wants to convict someone for criminal conspiracy, they have to prove three things. One, they have to prove the existence of an agreement between two or more people to commit a crime. Two, they have to prove intent to actually carry out the crime. They have to prove that it wasn't just idle chatter. They were actually intending to carry out this criminal conspiracy. And three, they have to prove an overt act in furtherance of the criminal conspiracy. So for example, let's say
basically, hold on it. Just help provide an overt act, the third element necessary to prove the Big U Enterprises guilty. Good thing Big U had nothing to do with that, was not there, has no idea what Hold No 100 is talking about. This is crazy.
When a friend decided to rob a bank, you picked out a specific bank at a specific time, and you decided that you wanted to wear Halloween masks to disguise your identity. The agreement to rob the bank is the first element. When you picked out a specific location at a specific time, that demonstrates the intent. And the second that one of you goes and buys a Halloween mask, just purchasing that Halloween mask is an overt act in furtherance of that conspiracy.
Wow.
Chasing a celebrity through the airport is an overt act in the furtherance of the charges of the RICO conspiracy that Big U is facing.
So I guess an overt act isn't what Jack100 says it is, which is like a no big deal description of your character. This lawyer says that an overt act is crucial evidence that is needed to satisfy the elements of a conspiracy charge, or else they don't have any case. It's the same thing with like a murder for hire plot. Simply hiring the guy over the phone isn't enough. You need an overt act. So that's why they always have the fake hitman go sit in the car with the person and say, do you really want to do this? And they actually went and got money out of the bank. These are overt acts that stack up, that show that you were actually going to commit the crime that you conspired to commit. So I really hope that this clears things up for everyone. And so Jack100 is named in an overt act, which is evidence that's being used in a RICO against Big Useless. So now all we have to do is sit back and wait for the evidence to flow from the discovery so we can find out exactly where this evidence is coming from and exactly what Jack100's involvement is with this case. Because I think he's an actual confidential informant. I think that he's a paid informant for the government. And I think he knows that he can't really get in trouble for a whole lot. He's pretty much there as a plant, I think. I think he's like an agent that's like, allowed to play in the streets, but he doesn't go to jail for anything. Does that make sense? That's all just my theory, though. Okay, so we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching.
That's crazy. Yeah, y'all got to make sure y'all go over there. I got was it 618 Gaming, and check out Byron Blake's, like a 50-something minutes, pretty long. But he goes in depth and shows how Hold No 100 on the phone with the feds ended up in the paperwork, and they love what he said. Don't let that go over your head. Break bread or play dead.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. Get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Next little net hustle. Big shout out to SPR, spotter low. I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.